all 13% of our population is not of work age. The Black community deserves equal work, but also equal opportunity and equal advancement, and that is part of the problem. This graph from McKinsey's survey on the racial wealth gap highlights the fact that the pipeline to highly compensated executive roles shed professionals of color, especially Black professionals, at every single level. Black workers also experience lower rates of professional advancement. In addition, Black workers are unemployed at twice the rate of white workers, a pattern that holds true even when controlling for education, duration of employment, and reason for unemployment. Black workers who hold bachelor's degrees experience a rate of unemployment similar to that of white workers with no college education. Black workers are subject to more scrutiny and are held to higher standards than white workers. Black workers make up 13% of the U.S. workforce, but racial discrimination against the group accounts for 26% of all claims filed. Black workers are more likely than white workers to be in support roles, which are slower growing and lower paying than directive roles. The entire U.S. workforce, only 43% are in supportive roles and 57% are in directive roles. But for Black workers, 56% are in supportive roles and only 44% are in directive roles. When you look at the estimated job growth, 1.5% for support roles and 8.8% for directive. When you look at the annual median income, $32,000 for support and $68,000 for directive. That is a huge difference. In the age of AI and automation, support roles are way more likely than directive roles to be replaced. Therefore, that means that a lot of Black workers will be pushed out of the labor force. This conversation is so important to happen because not only do you use the income from your job by day, but also the income from your job is what you use to invest and to save and to grow wealth. This is a huge reason why the Black community is not able to generate and retain wealth. There are also so many comments from Black people saying like, oh my gosh, I haven't been able to get interviews or haven't been able to get jobs. And I want to highlight this as well because part of racism is that it wants you to think that you're crazy, right? It wants you to think that the writing on the wall is not really writing on the wall and you're just imagining it. And I want y'all to know that you are absolutely not imagining this. If you're interested in more information from this report, I have an entire playlist on the racial wealth gap where I go through this report and many others similar to this. Thank you for tuning in.
Another episode of Seen and Heard podcast where everyone should be seen and heard. And my lovely co-host, Mrs. Kenneth.
Greetings, Habarigani. Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa. And opening up with some sad news in politics. My favorite president, President Carter, passed. Rest in enlightenment, President Carter. He was one of the last known best humanitarians, I believe, in politics. I don't think that there are any other politicians really on his level in either party that exists right now. So he hung on.
He's a good old guy.
Mm-hmm. So with that, the opening video was what we want to talk about: Black economics. I mentioned earlier to Ms. Kenneth about the Walmart issue where they backed off of the DEI programs, and we're talking about a boycott, which realistic boycott. So over the weekend, I was seeing videos of some Black creators that were talking about spending money on a Birkin bag, a dupe Birkin bag, which, I mean, if that's what you want to spend your money on, spend your money on that. But the economics of what this young lady was sharing in the video, which I'll have her name tagged in the comment section for y'all to go follow her on TikTok. Before TikTok gets banned, you guys go follow her because I'm sure she has some other social accounts that y'all can follow her at. What are your thoughts, Ms. Kenneth?
Well, we all want what they have. We want red bottom shoes. We can't get red bottom shoes. So we put some red tape on the bottom of a pair of shoes and hope nobody recognizes that it's not the real thing. Prada shoes. Or some magic marker or whatever case. So Walmart may be selling knockoffs. But Walmart isn't the only place where you can get knockoffs. Go to New York City. Everybody on every street corner is selling a knockoff bag. Everybody on every street corner in New York City is selling some knockoffs product. So Walmart is doing exactly what they see makes money. These people cannot afford the real bag. In my first introduction to Michael Kors, I thought it was a beer. I'm gonna be honest. That's how out of the loop. And we were in New York, and everybody was running up the street to go to Michael Kors. I went up there thinking they were selling beer. Anyway, got in there. A little wallet clutch, cost $1,700. Hey, the best I can do is buy a Michael Kors knockoff. And I'm telling you, if you go in some of the stores where they sell knockoff products, that's exactly what you're going to get. Don't tell me you're going in some of these stores and you coming out with a Michael Kors bag, because you ain't coming out with no Michael Kors bag. You're coming out with a knockoff. It's just that plain and that simple. As far as Walmart is concerned, I cannot say boycott Walmart, because there are a lot of rural areas where they're food deserts, and the only place people have to go shopping for food and essentials is Walmart. I just came from one this week. From the time I hit the state line, there was a Walmart at the state line on the north side, and then come down 39 miles, there's a Walmart. That's the only store where you can go buy bread, eggs, cheese, bologna, or whatever the case. And there's no other place that you can go. So I'm not going to say, let's do a total boycott of Walmart. But there's some things you don't have to buy. You don't have to buy their Juneteenth T-shirts. You don't have to buy Juneteenth ice cream. You don't have to buy Juneteenth cakes and cookies. You don't have to buy Martin Luther King T-shirts. You do not.
And if you do, get it from a black creator.
Yeah, get together a group of you all, buy some T-shirts, create your own T-shirt, ride around with them in your car, sell them out of the back of your trunk, and call it a day. That's my take.
And speaking of courage here, Costco, they refuse to buckle to the pressure of the conservative DEI. So their shareholders came to them and asked them, DEI programs? No. They did not buckle. They said no. A statement from the store read, we believe and member feedback shows that many of our members like to see themselves reflected in the people in our warehouses with whom they interact. So Costco refuses to buckle to pressure from conservatives to ditch DEI. Now, and it's to read is the Black Enterprise. So you guys could read this article for yourselves, but yeah, Costco is a very big company, and they did not bow down to the conservatives that were trying to bully them, unlike Walmart.
Costco,
so it can be done.
Generous. They're very generous to their employees also. They have a good starting salary.
Oh, okay.
They have some amazing benefits. They have stock. You get whatever they're selling at a substantial discounted rate. Costco treats their employees very well. So
well, that's good to know, because I actually haven't been in the Costco, because I'm gonna try a Costco, because I thought you had to have a membership to get in there. So I'm gonna go peek in on Costco, because I've heard good things about Costco.
You do have to have a membership card.
So, oh, you do? You do? It's like a Sam's Club?
Yeah, just like it.
Okay. Well, I'll still go in there and see if they'll let me walk around, and see if I want to get a membership. I might try to see what kind of...
Go to the desk and ask for a visitor's pass. See if you can get a visitor's pass.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. I want to check them out. Because they got there's some things, well, I don't know about the in bulk, but my mom used to like when Sam's Club first came out, but that's been years ago. So on that, we are going to our next story, Mississippi Valley State.
So can I just say one thing about the wealth issue?
Mm.
I appreciate what the young lady is saying, but the wealth gap didn't start where she would like us to believe it started. Our ancestors worked for 256 years. Some say 246, some say 250, some say 256, but not less than 246 years, and never received a penny for their labor. Sun up to well past sunset, they did not receive a dime. When the emancipation took place and they were freed, the enslavers were compensated, but not in this country, the 4.5 million enslaved persons who were emancipated. they got nothing, not even a penny. And people like Callie House, who tried to get the elders, the older people, a pension, all she got was a year or so in prison for mail fraud. So when we talk about the wealth gap, we have to be more aware of what we're talking about. I'm not taking anything from her. All I'm saying is the wealth gap did not start where she's talking about it started. We have to walk backwards on the wealth gap, and we have to include our knowledge of our history, because we cannot just summarily dismiss our ancestors who for 250 years, we'll say, worked from before sun came up until long after the sun set and never got even a penny. After emancipation, they still were wrong, because they were either treated as leased convicts, and you ain't have to do anything to get arrested for the rest of your life and get sent to the labor farms, or you were sharecropping and you didn't have the benefit of being able to read and write. So the now no longer enslaver, but the sharecropper who's cheating our ancestors kept them broke from year to year. Well, you got to seed, and that costs money, and you got to plow, and that costs money. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you, you're in the hole to me for $900, so you got to come back next year and work some more. So when we talk about wealth gaps and what that looks like, we have to factor in how we got to this point. We cannot just say, this is the jump off point. Sorry.
And that and I see what you're saying too, and that was like no shade to the young lady, because you're right. That is important with the education system. That is why they are trying so hard to take that out of the education system. They don't want us, especially, to learn about that, because I mean, when people sometimes bring up the question of, say, reparations, and they would ask me like, well, where would the money come from? Well, we could start with Wall Street. Wall Street was ground zero for the sales. We could start with the insurance companies. The insurance companies insured the bodies. So, I mean, there's 2 points right there to start off. Where are we going to get the money? And they're still in existence.
In the banking?
The banking system. They're still in existence. So we can start there. We have starting points. It's just we need somebody with backbone to get it started.
Yep, that's true. And again, I'm not diminishing this young lady. She has some beautiful long nails, so maybe she has a little bit of wealth and she can afford. You see, I don't have no nails.
Mine are black.
But the issue is, we need to know our history, and we need not to believe that the wealth gap started here. It didn't start here. It is being perpetuated, and it is the continuation of what happened to our ancestors for 250 years and 100 years of Jim Crow, Jim Crow, the least laborers, the sharecropping, and the separate and unequal. So we got a whole 2.5, 3 centuries that we have to make up, and then try and get to a place where, first of all, we have equity, and then secondly, we can begin to look at equality.
And then that's going to segue into this next story, which, speaking of Jim and Jane Crow, this personally to me is just an insult to, I mean, I don't know who's behind the invitation type thing, but it just looks weird to me. And I'm not the only one. The comments, the sentiment around this, surrounding this, is just really leaves a sour taste in my mouth. Mississippi Valley State Band invited to presidential inauguration parade. Mind you, this is an HBCU. So apparently in Jackson, Mississippi Valley State University's band is set to perform at the 60th presidential inauguration parade. Donald Trump's invited Valley's Mean Green Matching Machine to perform at the event in Washington on January the 20th. And then they put up this, I guess from the school, they put up a GoFundMe to get donations, help us raise $350,000 to make this once-in-a-lifetime experience possible for our students. Well, the sentiment from a lot of black people in the black community is, no, we're not going to pay for you to go tap dance and step and fetch it for a white supremacist that is trying to erase our very existence.
So you asked me for a comment? Okay.
Yes.
So first and foremost, if I were the president, I would have respectfully RSVP'd that this is not possible. So I'm looking at some statistics. I don't know how current they are, but I'm looking at some statistics. Average cost after student aid, these kids still got to come up with $10,000. And here we are asking for $350,000 to come to D.C. for to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue in a parade when Donald Trump has yet to select not even one African American in his cabinet or anywhere surrounding his cabinet. And I'm going to give you all some of my money for you to come to D.C. It ain't going to happen. If that's the case, you need to take that $350,000 and apply it to tuition so that these students come and they don't have to pay a dime. The sad thing is the acceptance rate is at 65%. Again, I don't know how up to date this is, and the graduation rate, on-time graduation rate, is 33%. Why am I paying my money to send you to D.C. for somebody who don't even care about you one way or the other? Because if they did, at least one black person would have been selected by now to be in some role in Donald Trump's, I'm not going to say administration, but in his administration, in something surrounding his administration. Clearly, the only way you getting in is you got to have a bank account with as my girlfriend's daughter said, with stack. You got to be sitting on stack in order to get into Donald Trump's inner circle. No.
I would also like to add that that's in Mississippi. Didn't Brett Favre embezzle money from Mississippi that was supposed to go to the exactly? Get it from Brett Favre or get it from that.
Don't get it from anybody. Don't get it from anybody. The president of that university ought to be able to send a letter to say thank you, but no thank you. Our students need more, and oh God, and he's trying to do away with the Department of Education. I can think of some really horrible things I could say where I'm not trying to be a better person.
Right. That's why I brought it up. I was just like, and it's just too important because of, I mean, and I get, like you said, he should just send an RSVP says thank you, but no thanks. You know, for the dignity of the black community, for the dignity of those black students. You know, no, we're not going to step and fetch for a white supremacist that's trying to wipe out our very existence. No.
When you don't even see the need in this country to have at least one black person. You have the East Indians. I got nothing against nobody. You got the East Indians. You got somebody who wants to be president of these here United States, but because the Constitution says you cannot be the president because you're talking about mass deportation, you are what you're trying to deport. So you are ride on Donald Trump's backside and call the shots. There's no way. And we know the history of South Africa.
Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. I mean, if anything, Vivek, for him to turn around and disrespect the black people, especially in this country, who from, you know, my parents and people that marched in the civil rights movement, his parents would not, he's a product of my parents' blood, sweat, and sacrifice. His parents would not have been allowed here if it wasn't for my parents and people in the civil rights movement. And then he comes and turns around and buddies up with Elon Musk. I'm Buddhist and I have to be mindful. But I have no tolerance for stuff like that.
Well, my issue is your graduation rate on time is 33%. You take that $350,000 and do some things to help your students to get from 33% graduation rate to maybe 66%, double it. Take $350,000. And again, if y'all, I was down south. Sorry, if y'all can't do anything other than be drinking the great Kool-Aid and talking about this is an experience of a lifetime for the students. This ain't no experience of a lifetime for them. Get real. Refuse to take another sip of great Kool-Aid.
An experience of a lifetime would be standing on business and protecting the dignity of the black community, especially those students. They would remember the fact that, we had an invite, but the president, we turned it down because it explained, like, it's not like they don't know who this person is. If people at this point in time do not know who Trump is, at this point in time, I just really don't know what to say. And that would be an indictment on that university if they don't know.
Well, 33% graduation rate on time. So President Briggs needs to do two things. Craft a letter, send it home to the parents of these students right now. They all home anyway. Send it home to the parents with a CC to the students and the actual letter to whoever sent the invitation. And you know what? He can, act like he had a senior moment and say, in light of the fact that we do not see where your administration is giving any homage to people of African descent, we find it necessary to at this time RSVP that we're unable to accept your invitation. Mississippi is at the bottom when it comes to any kind of wealth, any kind of employment, education, all those things. And you trying to raise $350,000 to take some students to DC, and the man don't even want black people in DC, because if he did, by now he could have found at least, forgive. He does have a black person, Herschel Walker, the ambassador to the Bahamas. That's an insult.
Herschel Walker is like O.J. Simpson. He said that I'm O.J. I'm not black. I'm O.J. So
I don't care. Here's what I'm going to say. Herschel Walker is a black. He's a black Donald Trump, getting all these women pregnant and then making them get abortions. Whether I don't know if it's true or not, riding them to the clinic and sitting in the parking lot and waiting for them to get the abortion and come back out. This is what you find in our communities of African descendants. This is the best you can find. I got somebody in Maryland, Michael Steele. I don't know whether he would be interested or not. He's a good guy. He's a Republican. Touch him.
Oh, I know him. He's on MSNBC sometimes. Michael Steele. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Reach out to him.
What I'm speechless still, and like what you said, it's nothing. I mean, I'm just speechless at what's getting ready to happen, because I mean, this is just a hot mess. I'm so embarrassed, like, that we have to go through this, because my thing is, I don't believe that we'll be able to get out of this once they get in. I don't believe we'll be able to get out of this, and I would hate to see that, because I'm not that old. I'm Gen X, and to think that in my lifetime that we will never be able to have an election to get us out or change any of this, like that's just kind of heartbreaking at the end of the year to be thinking about. Like, and I'm just being realistic. Because nobody's doing what they need to do.
So I'm a baby boomer. I'm very, very, very old. So,
You're not that
old. I don't have $500 in the penny. I could care less one way or the other. Okay. Mm-hmm. However, for those generations down the line, somebody got to wake up and do something, because y'all could be looking at this for the next 16 years. You could be looking at this for the next 16 years. Now, Donald Trump, I think, is what, 79, 80?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I failed math, 80, so I'm going to say 80. So 16 years, that would make him 96. So if he comes up with a way to stay in office, senile and all, until he's 96, that's 16 years. Well, what's his face? J.D. Vance, if Donald Trump liked him well enough to keep him around, J.D. Vance would be about 56. He's still a young dude. So if they play their cards right, then J.D. Vance could be next in line. So he would be in there until he's 70, another 16 years. Or having control over the Supreme Court. Maybe Elon Musk won't be president, but maybe...
But his kids... He got 11 kids.
Yeah, or maybe he can make it to be vice president with the understanding he'll never be president. Who knows? The thing is, you cannot be president because you were not born here. I don't know that it says that about vice presidents. I just don't. I had to look it up. I don't know. But at any rate, the kind of money he's shelling out, there is something that Elon Musk is going to get out of this other than him and Vivek, strong arming people.
I'm looking it up. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. Let me see. Can you be vice president and not born here? We'll find out. Let's see if it. Let's see. This is the latest accepted revision. Reviewed on the 21st of December 2024. Status as a natural-born citizen of the United States is one of the eligibility requirements established in the United States Constitution for holding office of president or vice president.
So you can't do either one. Well, you still got this other thing that's running rampant. The H1B ones. Those people are the ones they also sitting on SAC. They got mega dollars, and they're bringing that caste system. And they're bringing the caste system. But who's going to rise up and speak against it? They got money. I know. I have friends. I have 2 friends who live in New York, and their only clients are H1B1 clients, and their office is on Wall Street. And they walk from their office on Wall Street to their condo. So they're pulling down some heavy dollars. And their only clients are H1B1s. So all around us, these things are happening. And
nobody is standing up.
Everybody still has their head in the sand talking about, I'm just so devastated. How could this happen to us? No, it has happened. Get your head out of the sand and do something about it. Because
my thing, the Democrats that are close to the levers of power that can do something, why are they not doing something? Like, we can do something. Our call to action. Call your Congress people, your representatives. We've been doing that. Keep doing that, I guess, until the last minute. But the Democrats, list off, who are the Democrats you listed? Jasmine Crockett,
Cori Bush,
Jamal Bowman,
Ayanna Pressley.
Yeah, Rashida
Tlaib.
So they're close to the levers of power. Why can't they do something? It seems like everybody's on vacation.
Well, there's something about for them to get a raise, a $70,000 raise. Maybe they don't want to rock the boat. Now,
well, that and the insider trading.
Now, Cori Bush, she gone. Jamal Bowman, he gone. So they should want to do it, if for no other reason than to antagonize AIPAC, to antagonize AIPAC, and to antagonize Donald Trump, because Donald Trump can't get to them. They're gone. Matter of fact, let me see. I wonder where Louis is. I'm gonna look and see. I had contact information for Louis, for Jamal Bowman's chief of staff person, policy. Well, I'm gonna see if he's still around. If he is, I'm gonna say, yo, talk to your boss and see if maybe he would be willing to do this.
Well, we will pick up on that on the last podcast of the year, which is coming up. Podcast 30. This is episode 29. So episode 30 is coming up. That'll be the last one for the year, and we'll follow up because Miss Kenneth, you will see if he call. It'd be great if you get him on as a special guest on the show. See if he'd like to talk to us.
I'm gonna send him a text message and see where he is. I don't know if he's still employed there or not. He might have already moved to another office, but I will send him something to see where he is.
Well, on that, we are going to close out for this one. Season 3 mugs. I'm going to start designing some for next year. If you would like to support us, please thumbs up the video, share the video, comment, leave us a voicemail. We'd like to hear from you. And we're still in fundraising for the end of the year. Please donate. Your donations mean a lot, and they help us in our programming a lot. And we will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye, Miss Kiddies.